In this video, I want to have a look at algebraic expressions. So we're going to start off with looking at a few examples of how to simplify algebraic expressions, and we're going to do that by collecting like terms. So our first example is if we had 3x squared minus 5x plus 2x squared plus 7x. Alright, so we're going to collect like terms. So like terms have the same variable and the same power. So in this expression, our like terms are our x squared terms, and also our x terms are both like terms as well. So then we've got our 3x squared plus 2x squared will give us 5x squared. And then we've got this minus 5x plus 7x would give us 2x. Alright, our second example, we've got 4ab plus 7a minus 3ba minus 6b squared. Alright, in this one, the only like terms we have are our 4ab and our minus 3ba. So even though the variables are in the other order, because that means a times b and b times a, when we multiply, the order doesn't matter. So these two are still like terms, even though they're written a little bit differently. So our 4ab minus 3ba, we can write that just as ab. Then nothing else is like terms, so the rest all stays the same. So we'll have plus 7a minus 6b squared. Have a look at next at multiplying algebraic expressions. So we're going to multiply all our numbers together first, and then we'll multiply the letters. So our first example is 2a times 4b. So we'll do the letters first, is 2 times 4 gives us 8, and then a times b will just be ab, so we'll have 8ab. Alright, question 2, we've got 5m times minus 3mn. So we're going to go 5 times minus 3 will give us minus 15. And then we've got an m times mn. So the two m's multiplied together will give us m squared, and then we've got that n on there as well. Alright, one more example. If we've got 5pq times minus 7q times 2p. So all the numbers first, we've got a 5 times minus 7 times 2. Well, the 5 times 2 is 10, so 10 times minus 7 would give us minus 70. And then we've got pq times q times p, so there's two q's and there's two p's in there. So we'll end up with p squared, q squared. Right, so that's multiplying. When we're dividing algebraic expressions, we always want to write them as a fraction first and then simplify. So our first example is if we've got 8x divided by 16xy. We'll write it as a fraction first, so it would be 8x over 16xy. And then we simplify where we can. So we've got an x on the top and an x on the bottom, so they can divide through and they'll cancel themselves out. And the 8 and the 16, we can divide them both by 8. So if we divide 8 by 8, we get 1. Divide 16 by 8, and we get 2. So that leaves us just with a 1 on the top, and on the bottom, we'll have 2y. All right, our second example, we've got 12xy divided by 8xz. So again, write as a fraction first, so we'll have 12xy over 8xz, and then cancel out. So our x's, again, divide through to give 1, and then if we look at our numbers, 12 and 8 can both be divided by 4. So divide 12 by 4 and you get 3. Divide 8 by 4 and you get 2. And the y and the z can't cancel out because there's only one of each. And then what we're left with on the top is 3y, and in the denominator is 2z. The last bit I want to have a look at is expanding and simplifying. So we'll just have a look at one question that's involving expansion. So if we've got 4 outside of 2x minus 7, to expand out we'll go to 4 times the 2x, which will give us 8x, and then 4 times minus 7 gives us minus 28. So there's no like terms there, so nothing we can simplify. In our second example, we've got 3 outside of 2y minus 1, minus 5y. Alright, so we want to expand this bracket out first, and then we can collect like terms. So we're going to go 3 times 2y will give us 6y. 3 times minus 1 will give us minus 3. And then we've still got this minus 5y on the end. And then we can simplify. So we've got our 6y and our minus 5y are like terms. So 6y minus 5y just leaves us with 1y, and we've still got that minus 3. All right, our last example is if we had 6 outside of 1 minus 2m minus 3 minus 10m. All right, so in this one, multiply out this first bracket. So 6 times 1 will give us 6. 6 times minus 2m will give us minus 12m. This second bracket here, that negative in front of the bracket is like having a minus 1 there. So we'll go minus 1 times 3 will give us minus 3. And minus 1 times minus 10m would give us plus 10m. So then we can collect like terms. So we've got 6 minus 3 will give us 3. And minus 12m plus 10m will give us minus 2m. So those are a fair few examples of how to work with algebraic expressions.